Hi guys, let's talk about months and moonths. Um, we're talking about celestial navigation and we're talking about timekeeping. And one of the most important things we do is we have our days, but we also have our months. And the term or idea of month is based completely on our partner, the moon. As the moon goes through all of its different phases, that is basically one month. And it has been a timekeeping device since forever, this concept of months. So 1 month, 1 month, is basically the time between full moons. Historically, in ancient times, that's what it was. But it doesn't work out exactly cleanly. And that's why there is a full moon on a different day every single month on our civil calendars. We are not based on a truly lunar calendar like some religions are and some countries are. We have a civil calendar that has our 12 months that we're used to, and the calendar works pretty well. But months were the basis of month. So what's the difference between the actual time for the moon to go through one of its cycles and what we see? There's things called sidereal and synodic period. So let's talk about sidereal period, and this is something you should know. A sidereal period is the time it takes an orbiting body to complete one of its orbits. So if the moon is here orbiting the Earth and 27 and a third days later, one moon month, it is in exactly the same spot. Okay, so in 27 and a third days is the time it takes the moon to actually be at this point from the orbit to being at the same point in its orbit. That is called the sidereal period. That is the real period of rotation or revolution of the moon. But there's another thing that occurs. The moon's not the only thing that's moving. The Earth is moving as well. As the Earth rotates on its own axis, it might take 27 and a third days for the moon to go from here to back to that same spot, or from here back to that same spot. But the challenge is, in that time, the Earth is also revolving around the sun, so the Earth is moving. And the moon actually has to move, not back to where it started, but it has to move a little bit further so that we see it in exactly the same spot in the sky that we did last time. That is called the synodic period. So synodic period is the time it takes for an orbiting body to appear in the same location in the sky. For us, that's 29 and a half days or 1 month. How do I keep them straight? Well, when the Earth and Moon are back in sync, yeah, I know these are the jokes, then that is the synodic period. Moonrise. If you watch the moon night after night after night, you will notice that the moon rises about 50 minutes later every single day. And this is due to the difference in the sidereal period and the synodic period of the Earth and the moon. It just, because the Earth is traveling along its orbit of the sun, as the moon circles us as we go along, it takes a little bit longer for us to see the moon in the same spot. And that gives this idea that the moon is visibly 50 minutes later every single day. It's not exactly an hour, just about 50 minutes. So you've got the sidereal period, you've got the synodic period, and combination of all this means, and of course in our civil calendar we do not have exactly 29 and a half days in a month. We've got 29, 30, or 31. What that means is the day of the full moon is going to vary from month to month to month. Now this is an old calendar, but it gives you an idea. It's just a really pretty visual of the fact that that full moon is going to shift what day it is on due to this orbital motion of both the Earth and the moon. Couple things you hear about the moon. News media very commonly says, oh, there's going to be a blue moon this month. Or it's an old expression, once in a blue moon, something fabulous happens. Well, a blue moon is, historically, what that means is a month that actually has 2 full moons in it. So you would have near the first or second or third of a month, you would have a full moon. And then again at the 29th, 30th, 31st of the month, somewhere in there, you would have a second full moon. 2 full moons in one civil calendar month is referred to as a blue moon. And I hate to break the news to you, hope it doesn't make you too blue, but there's not actually a blue moon when there's a blue moon. Phases of the moon. We're going to stop this right here, and next we're going to start talking about the phases of the moon, waxing full and all of that jazz. See you later.